Homeschooling your kids, is it right? And I want you to put in the comments whether you think it's good to homeschool your kids or you think it's bad to homeschool your kids, pros, cons, and if you are someone that homeschools, what do you do? What apps, what resources do you subscribe to? And if you're not homeschooling kids, then, what is it I've nearly dropped my thing there. What is it you like about it? What is it you don't like? What is it you think is good, etc., bad, and so on? So, my youngest son, Michael, was in normal full-time education, academic education, and, not naturally very academic. Did well, and when he first went to school, I was not particularly academic in the first place. Hey, morning, Ibe. I was not particularly academic at school, and again, maybe if you were like me, you can put something in the chat or the comments and own up to it too. But something that I really got from school was I built great relationships. I learned social skills, social interaction, all that kind of stuff, and that's the thing I really took from school. And I got a bit of an education, but if I'm honest, most of the education that I took from school didn't really do much with it in my actual career life, and I think I used my certificates from O-levels, and again, I'm showing my age now with O-levels. I think I used them once to get my first job interview, and then that's it, never to be heard from again. So I went, basically Michael was going to school and it was great. And, he built relationships, built friends and all that kind of stuff. But again, really struggled with the academic stuff. And I found that in the school, often it was substitute teachers coming in and things like that. And, I know that some schools are really great, some schools not so good. In this particular school, in fact, several of the schools he's been to, again, it was almost like going through the motions and so on. So really felt that homeschooling might be an option. And I spoke to a few people that do that and felt that it was, maybe something to try. Then, a year ago, we came up with the idea of maybe spending a bit of time abroad and so on. And of course, it just seemed like a good timing to maybe do that. And so, then I kind of had to do a bunch of research. Hey, morning, Franco. I'm going to wave me over there, but in the camera. Morning. But then I did a bunch of research, and again, there were just so many options out there, from expensive online study courses to online apps to everything. So I kind of reviewed and thought, okay, well, what is it that I want him to learn? Because ultimately, education, whether at home or at school, is about equipping you for the life ahead, for your adult life, so you can handle any situation and you can take advantage of opportunities that come along. And so I decided, okay, well, I'm going to put together a schedule for him. Now, I'd always said to him, and again, rightly or wrongly, and again, if you want to comment in the chat, obviously people have an opinion on this. And again, post anything you like. We can agree, we can disagree. Ultimately, I think whether homeschooling is right for you and your children or traditional school is right for you and your children, it really is, the answer is, it depends. Is it for you? Is it right for you? Some people really struggle with school but do well in outside school environment. Some people, it's the opposite of that. In our particular case, I thought it'd be good to share what we did. And I'd love to get some feedback because I'm really new to the whole kind of homeschooling thing. So still kind of figuring it out as I go. So what I did is I put together a timetable based on kind of normal school hours, if you like, which we later revised, but started out with saying, okay, well, what kind of skills do you need to learn? So obviously maths and English were things that, I think as far as academia is concerned, they're just the givens. You have to have maths and English, GCSEs or whatever, qualifications. So I had to find some way you can do that. So I found an online course, video course, an online e-learning platform, which allowed him to do those parts, which he's been working through really, really well. And then we looked at things like, okay, what about things like sciences? how you're going to learn those. And I just kind of came to the conclusion, again, no disrespect to any great science teachers out there or history teachers or geography teachers, but, in the school he was going to, there was, often he'd come and say, oh, yeah, how was science? Oh, no, just a substitute teacher today. We just did whatever, And I just didn't feel he was learning. And I thought, and he used to watch a lot of documentaries anyway, and, David Attenborough and all this kind of stuff. And, so I kind of thought, well, honestly, I think that if he were to learn science from David Attenborough and learn physics through, I don't know big physics people, but it's Brian Cox probably, learn from him, learn, all these different areas, go online and see animated videos about how Spain was formed or England was formed. And, I said, well, knowing when the Battle of Hastings was, I learned that at school, but it didn't really serve me at all in life unless I wanted to go on and be a historian or stuff like that. So I thought, well, I don't really care whether you know the Battle of Hastings or, photosynthesis or whatever in biology, but, I want you to have a rounded kind of general knowledge of these things. So you do know, okay, maybe what photosynthesis is or things like that. You do know, the planets, you do know certain things, but just as a very general knowledge. I'm not going to test you on it. I just want you to know, when you play Trivial Pursuit, you want to be able to answer some questions, right? But what I think is more important is relevant skills that are going to help you in later life. So, I thought, well, okay, relevant skills, what does he need? Well, in IT, knowing things like Microsoft Office or how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, things like that. These are skills that I use in my everyday life. And, I know many, many millions of other people do. So I thought, well, that's a great thing for him to learn as an actual relevant skill for life, And the other side of things was things like personal development. One of the things I heard once, which I really loved, is, and I forget the name of the person that said it, but it was about how his dad said, look, I'm not going to pay you to do chores around the house. His name's coming to me. Is it Caleb Maddox? Somebody put in the comments his name. His name escapes me right now. Anyway, he said his dad told him, look, I'm not going to pay you for doing chores around the house, because chores around the house are things that you should do to contribute to the family. You should help with the dishes. You should, put the washing away. You should tidy your room. These are things you do as part of the family. This is what you're supposed to do to contribute, because when you're a family, you're a team and you contribute. And we've very much taken that on board in our family. And the other thing he said is, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to pay you $20 or whatever to read some books. So I'll give you a book, you read it, you write a report on it, and I'll pay you for that. So every time he read a book like Think and Grow Rich or Rich Dad Poor Dad or whatever the book was, he said, right, there you go, you've earned your $20. And someone said to him, but gosh, that's going to cost you a fortune, right? And he said, well, listen, but if he reads 1,000 books and it's cost me, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars, he said that's still going to get him a better educator, even 100 books. Let's say he reads 100 personal development books. That's still going to give him probably a better education than he would have got from going to school, more prepared for life, for the fraction of what it would cost to put him into a college, university, or whatever. This guy now who said that is worth millions, and I think he made millions as a teenager teaching this stuff. So, one of the things we did is, well, let's build into the curriculum, if I want to call it that. Let's build in a personal development section. So every day, Micah has a personal development lesson, a maths lesson, an English lesson, a science lesson, which could be either a history, it could be science, history, geography. It's all those things where he watches videos and writes notes on them, and also the IT side, which is Word, Excel. So things like creating PowerPoints is something he's doing. I've got to say, he's getting really good at PowerPoints. So it's kind of things like that. So that's kind of what we did. Honestly, I don't know whether it's the right thing, because I'm still learning it. It just seemed to make sense to me. So I'd be interested to know, if you're someone that homeschools, what your thoughts are on that. If you think that's a good thing, a bad thing, if you've got other suggestions, What are some of the things that you do with your kids that really, really make a difference? I think the only thing that I think is a negative from what I can see so far is obviously that social interaction side of being in school, seeing his friends. Now, he still communicates with his friends online. He's still in groups with them. He still plays and stuff and games and things and streams. But yeah, it's not as nice of them hanging around. I'm sure as they all get older, maybe they'll come visit and things like that. So, but also as we kind of, go around and settle and get involved in communities that we visit, I'm sure, he's going to make more friends that way as well. So, yeah, but interested to know what your thoughts are, whether you're someone that homeschools or not, good or bad. I mean, open to all comments. You may think what I'm doing is a terrible, terrible thing, or you may think it's a fantastic thing. One of the things that was important to us is if we were going to travel, that, we make it an educational experience. So we've made sure that we're doing what we call Hollywork right now. So Hollywork is like we're in Spain for 3 months, and then, we are working, we go to work every day, we do our roles, our jobs, our businesses online. And then when we have our downtime, well, that's holiday time. So holiday time. So we try and maximize the downtime. Whereas at home, we kind of finish work and then, have dinner, maybe watch TV or something, and we didn't really maximize that downtime. So we've decided we're going to make it an educational, as well as relaxing family quality time thing as well. So, yeah, I mean, one of the things I teach in my business is that you have to enjoy the journey. And I think that's true in business, in life, because we never know when our time will come. It could, we could pass away before we get to our destination, our goal. And I think that's the same for kids too. So, thankfully we're in a position to do this. And so far it's been a month now. Perhaps I'll give some more feedback on that after 2 months, 3 months, and see how we feel about it then. But so far, I've got to say it's been a really great, positive experience for us. And yeah, happy we did it. And hopefully it just continues to get better and improve. And yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. Hope that all made sense to you. Hope you got something from it. And please, it's not just what you could get from this, but what you can contribute as well. That's really important in any community. So I appreciate if you do that too. Take care, everyone. Have an awesome rest of the day. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.